What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 376. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trev.
And we are feeling it and chasing it with Adam.
Ha I did the little finger thing. Twisters.
The little whirly bird.
Twisters, man. A delightful sequel to a weird classic, but a classic nonetheless, right?
Where'd they get that Dorothy from?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Huh?
Why was it? Why was
And
it
like,
there
why
to be
didn't they
there?
ever like connect it? Like, we know where it's from, but it's like, who do you know? So wait, was
Yeah.
her mom someone?
I don't know.
I don't. Well, honestly,
I want to go look because
I kind of chalked it up because it was just like one of the things they made very clear is that the whole purpose of the first movie, they can do that easy now. Like, that ain't nothing. Like, the whole plot of the first movie was just getting in line to release those sensors. And in this movie, they're like, oh, that's the easy part, you know? Like,
Yeah.
in this one they're like, we're gonna use the shit that's in diapers.
we're not just going to prevent tornadoes. We're going to stop them.
My dumb ass Googled if that was possible.
Is it?
Survey
No.
says. But man, whenever they were explaining how the chemicals and all that stuff works, I'm sitting there watching it with my father. I said, watch that be like that's the big finale. Like they're gonna release it right, and it's gonna stop one from hitting the town, and then it happens, and I'm like,
She even had like a little test,
Yeah.
thing of how to
Dude,
kill it. She was like, and then earlier, you know, when her boyfriend shows up, she's like, "You ready to kill a tornado?"
Yeah.
I'm like, these motherfuckers are crazy. Like,
I
Yeah.
will say that I did like the concept where they had to like drop those radars. I
all
like
the
the
government
stakes that,
shit.
yeah, I liked how they had to do that. Like that was the real danger of the movie was
You gotta
like,
get me
okay,
in front of it.
the tornado's got to be on the ground and not not only in front of it, but they've got to, the whole teams and stuff. Because honestly, I was rooting for the nerds.
Yeah.
Like
But
when
the
YouTube
dangerous
shows,
part is, and it's like, maybe don't put the trauma victim
Yeah. In front of the tornado.
in front of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, when Billy Bob fucking Storm Chaser shows up, I'm like, fuck these guys. And I'm like, why? Like, I felt like they were making the ragtag team in the first movie. I'm like, dude, fuck these dudes. And I think it's because they didn't have Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Well, I think there's a couple of things that contribute to that because it's like most of these like YouTubers on that level that do shit like that are very arrogant.
They're arrogant and very reckless. So I get
Yes.
it. And I will say that I did enjoy seeing the weaving of how, like, because normally at the beginning of the movie, or at least from the original, when you meet them at first, they're already those gun ho classic storm chasers with a little bit of edge to them, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I liked how they gave us like, dude, we're going hard science at first because like I watch a lot of this reality tornado stuff with my father, so I'm really like, I like watching it. It's entertaining. It's fascinating to hear the science aspects of them,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was like, that's cool that they're going at it with this angle. And when they kind of weaved it and did like some place reversals and some fake outs and stuff, I liked it. And I'll be honest, because it was something I'd mentioned to Adam. I was like, wasn't expecting the hard betrayal. Like, I was expecting them to kick out Corn Sweat just because he was being, the prude and everything. Like, I thought
Right.
Homeboy was going to be like, no, this is my company. Get the fuck out,
Well, Corn Sweat
But
was one of the
instead-
guys that died at the beginning, right?
No, he's actually, he's the dude at the end. That dude peels out the mud on him. Like,
Oh, he was the storm chaser, the guy that was like, the models said
he was
that
the
the
dude
other
riding-
one was going to be better.
yeah.
Oh.
Which I didn't realize until after the movie, that's our new Superman. So it's
Yeah.
the first role I've seen him in, and I was like, well, it was
played
a
a
role.
good dickhead.
Yeah, it made me hate him.
I mean, he was doing his job though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he had no connection to the chick. So you
No.
can't get
Oh,
mad
he
at him. Now the
he
other
had no
guy,
connection to the whole situation throughout the whole
like
film. Like you could tell he was very cold. Like I'm here for data.
the other
Like,
guy, like was trying to hook up with the chick,
Yeah.
and when
oh
she
yeah, I
chose the
was
other
wondering how
dude,
that
he
was
was
gonna
like,
play.
"Fuck it."
Well, I figured it would be something vengeful where it's like he's like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm gonna make his anchor system like fault,
And then she's gonna
he's
be
gonna.
in there, and it's gonna,
Yeah, yeah,
What about how it started?
Dude,
yeah.
I was telling I was telling Adam this last night. I'm like,
Deserved, and it needed to be R rated. Honestly, like I wished it was because that would have been brutal as shit, dude, to watch that happen. And like they could actually allow blood to happen because like debris would be smacking their face and lacerating their face while they're, like it'd have been crazy.
I mean, she got cut.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, come on now. We know a tornado's gonna fuck you up way more than that.
I mean, it killed her 3 friends.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
right.
Just drug them away. Like,
Yeah.
Just the suck zone.
But all right, I've got a couple of things here. First of all, with what this dude's trying to use this military equipment to like basically get an actual
3D
model, a
yeah.
3D model of a tornado. These things are small. Like when
Yeah.
why are we having to set them on the ground?
Why don't you just leave it on the vehicle?
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
exactly.
just pull up there and like face your
Yeah.
ass at it
Yeah.
and then get the scan and then fucking hightail it, man.
Yeah. Instead, so
Well, I mean,
every time they drop,
because you're right, it didn't make sense because like the tornado's moving, like that's only going to be, and they even show you in the modeling on the computers. It's like, dude, it's only partial views of this shit.
I mean,
And
you
they're
could
like,
just
I got
follow
enough, I
it,
got.
you know?
yeah. Well, not only that, but like, so they expect that every time a tornado comes through and they do this, they drop 3 of these things. Then they have to go use the GPS locator. Dude, whenever we had tornadoes around here, there was stuff from hundreds of miles away
Yeah.
that wound up
Mhm.
here. So, like, even though they're on flat prairie land out there, it could sling that thing hundreds of miles away, and they've got to get to it before the GPS locator goes dead. It's like that's a little bit of a flawed,
Unreliable.
yeah, a little flawed system they've got there. And then like the mom, right? Like whenever she goes back home, I was fully expecting the mom to be Helen Hunt. Like,
Yeah.
Or somehow connected. I mean, that woman's not even in Twister.
mm-mm.
I went and looked it up.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, what?
They did make a point. It was weird how they kept it completely separate, but
But that was Dorothy.
they only
Yeah.
did visual. They did visual and like comment stuff. Like I feel like they tried to, instead of directly saying it, because of the way they were able to do advanced warning systems, it was almost like visually they were like, look at what Paxton and Hunt's research was able to accomplish for the National Weather Service. And I know
Yeah.
that's a stretch. That's a stretch for like that's not something necessarily that a younger audience member's even going to remotely give a shit about, because this is absolutely like, even though it's a sequel, it's very much like, yeah, you can just go watch it. Don't matter
Yeah,
if
it's
you watch
kind
the
of
first one.
just a reboot, really. I mean,
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
I mean, you don't face your fears, you ride them. You know.
Yeah. And it's
That's
like,
what
why did
Tyler
they?
said.
Dude,
And why
I
did
was
they
just
have-
waiting. I was waiting for him to pull out a bottle of Prime.
Yeah, right. And I'm sitting there at the beginning. It's like, why do they have to release Dorothy? Like, I understand the logic behind releasing that so that they can measure what is actually happening inside the tornado on a scientific level. But like, if you're developing something that is going to allow you to dissipate a tornado,
Yeah.
video proof would be more than enough
Yeah.
to be. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Well, I'm also like, don't we already have that data from Dorothy?
exactly.
In the end of that movie, they got the ultimate data. Like,
Yeah.
And like, don't they?
and we still don't know how tornadoes are made.
It's a mixture
Eh,
of what science and what did he say? Science and madness or something. It's like, well,
right.
Early
but
birds.
I like that they paid homage to things that I truly remembered as a kid from
Like the
watching Twister.
theater.
Like, yeah,
yeah,
dude. I mean,
The original
there
had
were
a
little
drive-in, right?
yeah, they were
Yeah.
watching The
yeah,
Shining.
the member berries were there, but they didn't. It wasn't a bush of them. You know what I mean?
But dude,
Yeah,
are we really going to the rodeo during a tornado outbreak? Like
Well, I
yes, of
mean, dude,
course.
what?
they got to justify the soundtrack.
And everybody, yeah, everybody
Yeah,
I
was
mean,
giving him shout outs. He's like, I used to ride
yeah,
like at
my
one
hip.
point, at one point, if I didn't realize I was watching it VOD, I was like, "Am I on CMT or something right now? Like, do I need to
yeah.
change the channel?"
They definitely leaned into their audience on this one, which is good. I mean, it netted them the monies, you know.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Huh.
even though I went in because of the fond memories of the first movie as a kid, and I feel like this movie grossed the amount of money that it did in our region just because our part of the world deals with this. Like, we're not
Yeah,
necessarily in the plains, but at the same time, we're in that region of our country where, you know, these types
It's
of
very
stories and stuff.
realistic.
Yeah, it's very like when you peel back the fiction of the movie,
Like
the
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 fire
the
nados
stuff
at
there
the
is.
oh
what
yeah,
was that
Yeah, I
thing? That was
mean,
like an oil
the
refinery.
refinery thing. Yeah,
so I could see where, you know, someone who's more in an area where they have to worry about like tsunamis and typhoons and stuff, they watch this and it's probably just fascinating to see that in a weird way. But, you know, places that aren't, you know, kind of like when we watch a movie that deals with what I just said, you know, we don't have that real world experience with it. So for some people that really enjoy a story that deals with that, there's that level of relation there. And for us, we can relate to how deadly a tornado truly is.
yeah, and
So,
like
yeah. Oh, sorry about
storm
that.
chasing.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like there's storm chasers everywhere, of course, but it's always been a fascinating thing, and I think it's something that everyone kind of. I feel like it's almost an unspoken thing that everyone's gonna stop and be like, "Okay, you chase weather, okay? Like, have you seen a tornado? Have you been near one? You know, like that." I feel like the chasers around here are always asked that kind of question. You know?
Yeah, you couldn't pay me enough to chase any type of like natural phenomenon. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you, but it's one of those things where if I felt like I was around really professional people, I would like to ride along in a storm chase just for that experience. But
Mm, mm,
that's only if it's like, yeah, we might see one or two twisters today. We're not getting a big outbreak or anything like that. And I'll be like, okay, cool. I'll go stand on the road while this thing's 20 miles off in the horizon. Yeah, cool, whatever. But like the stuff that's really like dramatic footage where these guys are like going down the road and the tornado's literally like in their face. Nah,
yeah,
man, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for recording it. I'm glad I get to see it, but I'm not gonna be there.
It's like, yep, that's what one looks like.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's a
all
it's a big spinning cloud that destroys shit.
yeah.
Cool.
And another thing too is like I love how they get the pass just because it's tornado season. They get the pass to just whip shitties in everybody's front yard and fucking
Serious.
pasture. It's like, okay, it's going that way. Let's pull off
I
on the
mean,
fucking over
dude,
here in the middle of nowhere.
it's that CMT guarantee in the contract. They're like, look, we can't have country music without a little mudding, dude. Like, we're gonna have to peel out a
Oh,
little
on
bit
that
in this
dually?
movie. And
Yeah.
that dude's like, don't. Dude's like, every shot, got you, fam. You
That
know,
was fun.
to use a dated expression, but you, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. This movie, just like the original Twister, is gonna fall under a guilty pleasure category because it's not a superb film, but it's certainly not a terrible movie.
Well, I would put it in like the S tier of disaster movies, which is already a low
Yeah.
bar. You know what I'm saying?
But it's not a Sharknado.
No, no, no,
You know what I mean? A
Exactly.
little better than something
Yeah, I
I
would put
mean,
this up there with
San Andreas,
I mean, the
well,
truth is
you know,
stretched
stuff like
enough
that.
for the truth is stretched enough in the movie to make it an engaging film for all audiences, but it's not so stretched that you know people that have actually dealt with these scenarios and live in areas of the world where they do see tornadoes and stuff like that. Um, it's not so far fetched that we're like, oh, that's total horse shit. Like, other than the dissipating of the tornado, which I mean, we get that, but like, there's not a situation where the tornado has like a mind of its own and it's coming for you or anything stupid like that. Like, I like
right.
that they still very much treated it as it's just a force of nature that we're trying to understand, and you either are smart enough to know how to stay out of the way, or like you just gotta get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah. But yeah, I would put it up there with those. I mean, it's, disaster movies are fun little popcorn movies. Um, at least to me. I don't,
Well,
you
well,
know.
they're part of that precursor to the summer blockbuster. And by blockbuster, I don't mean it has to be like gun wielding, gun toting. Let's ride a ninja a motorbike on the front wheel. Let's like jump from tall buildings and somehow not break our fucking ankles. Like, like little shit like that. It's not necessarily in that category, but
Yeah.
it's definitely it's one of those movies you can cut on and you can either sit and watch it intently and enjoy it, or you can cut on and talk with whoever, whatever company you have, and glance up, and you're not really going to miss anything. There's not going to be
Yeah.
there's no really true vital dialogue. Like, everything is visually done, and visual storytelling wise, it says enough. You're like, oh, okay. Beginning of the movie, tornado shows up, kills the person. All right, get it. She's got baggage. Moving along, and it worked. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it definitely worked. As far as like tier wise, my question to you guys would be like, because disaster movies as a whole, um, would you do you think this movie deserved a theatrical release? Or do
Yeah.
you think it should have been among that upper slash lesser echelon of like a high polished B movie?
No, I think because the tornadoes looked great. And I can only imagine what that experience in theaters was like, where it's like you get the full effect of the sound and the rumble, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't go. Like, my brother and his wife went to the theater and watched it, and they both really enjoyed it. Um, and I mean, if it would have been anything other than Twisters, and it could have been the same exact movie, but not playing into the nostalgia factor and also like, the redneck factor, if you will. Um, I think it could have went straight to, streaming, but with it playing into that and it having as much money poured into it as it did, then yeah. I mean, it didn't look cheesy. I mean, some
Well,
of the stuff
it
in the
was
movie
able to
was
tap
cheesy.
into it was able to tap into a part of the movie going audience that hasn't really been given a whole lot of consideration lately.
Oh yeah, and that's why, like, I would put this in the same playing field as Maverick, right? Because it's like it's appealing to that nostalgia factor. It's like movies that haven't been made in a long time, but and it just goes to show you that like those movies can still sell. Now, I don't know if an original IP like that would necessarily sell as well as like something that's kind of hitched its post on what came before. Um, but I would definitely factor it into that.
Sure, for sure.
But I mean, of course, I didn't hate it. It's not something I'm gonna watch. I'll probably watch again. I mean, I couldn't tell you when the last time I saw the original Twister. So
I mean, the movie didn't have enough Bill Paxton, sadly. R.I.P.
yeah,
Um, but like, but yeah, it's and that's the thing that because even so, I think the same arguments can be made for the first movie still that this movie has.
Yeah.
But I think it's really the fact that comparing them together, the first movie had such a stronger cast.
Yeah.
It felt it was more of a movie than this one was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes any kind of fucking sense. Like it's a movie where the plot could be shot. I'm
Hello?
sorry, guys. I'm
Oh.
having technical difficulties over here. My connections are being kind of weird, so if I go silent, I apologize up front. But like this movie didn't have that kind of like weight to it, I guess. Like there were some names in there for sure, but they weren't anything that's going to drag people to the theater.
But it did very well in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it did.
It's like a date night movie. I mean,
Yeah. Exactly.
But I feel like it had that lucky roll of the dice where it was that movie that had solid trailer, because I remember us watching on the pod and we were like, okay, let's see where this goes. And it just seemed like it was one of those things where like it just happened to be like a, not to be lame as fuck, but it was a perfect storm of things happening, because it came out around the same time as Deadpool and Wolverine. So it was occupying the same theater space. And with that movie being, and with, you know, obviously with Deadpool and Wolverine being as big of a hit as it was, it sponged up most of the audience. So it was like Twisters was able to come in and get some of those, the moviegoers that were like, I don't give a shit about Marvel, never watched one in my life, and the only time I have is because my kid or someone I knew was watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's definitely, you know, to borrow your terms, Griff, it's the redneck audience. While there's certainly the same people obviously went and watched both movies, you know, but I think the moviegoers that were like, you know what, I don't think I want to hear Ryan Reynolds be comedic for 2 hours. Which shame on your fucking ass if that's how you feel. But you know, it was a good way to come in there and cash in big, because the movie made a lot of money. I mean, for the type of film that it
347
was.
million.
I
Actually,
mean,
made decent money overseas. They said, like, they were surprised because, you know, redneck audience.
Yeah. So like yeah, because even our criticisms are like, yeah, well, the numbers don't lie, you know, at the end of the day.
Well, they
Yeah.
definitely targeted that audience with the music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was full of pop
Like, dude,
country.
when I left, man, if I hadn't already been a employee to a steakhouse, I felt like everybody went to a steakhouse after that movie.
Yeah. Right.
They were like, you know what? I think I want to go to Logan's. What about you? Yeah, Logan sounds good right now. Walking through the door, got a little dirt on my boots. You know? And you're like, yeah, man, bring the peanuts.
I think that the biggest disservice the movie did, though, was not giving, because like when you ask a normal moviegoer, you know, what's your favorite Bill Paxton movie? It's like, well, you know, who's Bill Paxton? It's like, oh, it's the dude from Twister. Like a lot of people know Bill Paxton from Twister,
Yeah.
right?
But a lot of the deep cut people know, nah, dude, aliens.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I that I kind of wish that like she would have been their daughter, you know, or whatever, and like,
Yeah, just
Because she's
something
still
that.
alive, and they could have played on the fact that he
yeah,
was her dad. He's dead now. So that's why she didn't go back home.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
and I was waiting for that moment when she was like, all right, I'm done. I'm going back. This was too much. And like, or maybe when she was having her moment of doubt with the dude being like, hey, I really need someone good in the field. Like, let's get our band. Let's rock a 2-piece. I got some fill-in guys. Let's fucking go for this. It would have been really cool if, you know, there could have been something where they're like, you know, she goes to talk to a higher up, and that higher up is Helen Hunt. She's like, you know, when I was trying to figure out Dorothy, you know, give that whole moment where like why she chose to pursue the twist, to show that they're both essentially the same character, and that little bit of dialogue and conversation would have grounded this to the original one more, and it would have been like, okay, like, because clearly all these types of people have a common denominator, and it was that weird personal connection to storms and how they have affected their lives, which in turn made them become it in the first a storm chaser in the first place, or meteorology in general.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton's son was in it.
Yeah, as an extra.
No, he was the angry hotel guest at the rodeo.
The one that was
got
like
sucked away.
The ice maker don't work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how. But I was looking to see, because they slapped Michael Crichton's name on it.
Yeah.
As a writer,
Yeah,
and it's
I
like he
noticed-
died in
I noticed
2008, dude. And they're like characters based on some of the characters, what it says, and it's like, but none of those characters are in this movie.
Yeah.
Unless he wrote a script a long time ago that had some stuff they pulled. I think they just slapped his name on there to do it. It's like,
right. As a
he
little
wrote the
throwback,
original.
maybe, yeah.
But it says here it's a standalone sequel.
Yeah.
So it's not really a sequel. I mean,
No. It's a reboot.
other than having Dorothy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And unless you've seen the original, you wouldn't even know. Like,
Yeah, you don't even know the purpose of it, other than that it's an old machine that releases sensors. But for like anyone that's around in the '90s watched it, was like, that's the thing, man.
That's
there
probably
she is,
That's probably why they had to credit Michael
that
Crichton.
might be it, because they had Dorothy in it.
Yeah. But that, to me, that was the biggest thing that I was kind of let down, because my expectations going into this wasn't high by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh
But-
yeah, it was absolutely going in cold for me.
Yeah. But I would have loved to seen a little throwback nod wink to, because dude, like Bill Paxton was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I loved watching everything he was in, and it's like, you see a lot of these actors, they get the nods from their peers whenever they make follow-up movies or sequels or whatever. And it just kind of sucks that I'm hoping that maybe Alien Romulus does something like that. I don't know if it it will or not, but like, it would have been cool, because I mean, that was a big thing for his career, was Twister. At least from me being young and being around.
Well, it kind of
everybody in the world.
launched. It kind of launched his like a comeback of sorts, I would say, because after that, he shows up in Frailty.
Yeah.
I think he does a few other things around that time. So
It's funny you mentioned Top Gun. The director of Top Gun worked on the script.
Makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Yeah. So let's see. Twister comes out in 96. So Apollo 13 comes out in 95. True Lies 94. Tombstone 93. But this was,
Apollo
the
13
original
was huge.
Yeah. But like, Twister was kind of like, it wasn't his first leading role, but it was like his first leading role to a lot of people. You know what I mean?
He had a small role in Apollo 13 compared to the other two. He was the guy that got sick. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. But then it rolls into, Simple Plan, Mighty Joe Young, U571, Vertical Limit, Frailty, he just kind of goes from there. And it's
when I think Bill Paxton, I think Twister. That's the first thing I remember.
Oh, yeah.
See it even before Apollo 13. Like, I just remember.
You know what movie we need to do on the pod sometime?
What's that?
Near Dark. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
Vampire
I'll have to go
movie?
look.
That was one of the first Blu-rays that I bought when I got a Blu-ray player.
Oh, this looks exquisite.
Well,
Got a good
it's
score.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie.
Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to revisit that on the pod at some point.
What type
it's
of
been a
movie is
while.
that?
It's like a
Dark
action horror.
comedy,
Yeah, dark comedy kind of thing.
vampire
Yeah,
horror. I mean, Halloween's coming up.
contemporary western. Yeah, but you got uh Lance Henriksen, Bill Paxton. They knock it out of the park, of course. And then Adrian Pazdar, like one of his early roles, because he's like a teenager in the movie, or he's playing a teenager, basically. But yeah, I'd like to, you know, do that at some point. But yeah, I give Twisters. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's not a bad movie, but it's not a movie that I'm gonna watch again. I might watch it once, maybe two more times with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I'll probably end
it's
up.
it's very much a show to, it. I know it's weird because of how quote dramatic the movie is, but it's almost like it's a movie you watch with your family in a weird way. Like if you're gonna watch something a little more exhilarating,
Yeah.
like some folks watch some families watch It's a Wonderful Life, some families watch Twister. Like
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like I'll probably end up watching it with like my in-laws at some point.
yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a movie that's absolutely going to be playing during the holidays when families are doing shindigs. It's one of the movies people are going to pop in. They're going to be like, hey, let's just get some films playing. And, they'll watch a few Christmas movies. And then it's like, let's watch something with a little more pizzazz. And they're like, well, we got Twisters. And they're like, yeah, let's watch it.
Yeah.
And then you got the one kid in the family that's going to be like, can we watch Beau is Afraid? And they all just look at him in silence.
I'll watch that.
I mean, I will again. I'll be
Hmm.
like, dude, his dad's literally a dick, and then leave the
Yeah.
room.
But yeah, I mean, it was good. I don't know. Like,
I'm giving it a star.
I mean, that's kind of how I
I
feel about
enjoyed
it
it.
too. But yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
Like when it went off,
I
I went
agree.
like, "Oh, I can't believe I watched that."
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate it at all.
But
Like I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I did not feel like my time was wasted, man.
No, not at all.
Like and I share similar sentiments with y'all, man. Like, it was worth watching. Don't know if I'll probably be back to it again anytime soon. But like, to add testament to what I was saying about it just being like the background noise, I still had it available on VOD for a while. And so the other day when I came home from town, my sister was over here hanging out with my dad, and she had it pulled up. And I was like, "Yeah, have you seen it yet?" And they're like, "No, I haven't." But there's a certain crowd they're gonna love it because the old man was watching. He enjoyed it. He had a good time. When it went off, he was almost like, "That was almost better than the first one." And I'm like, "Okay." Granted, disaster movies are right up his alley. So
Yeah. But yeah, I think a star suits it, right?
I think it's worthy of the coveted golden real estate titty twister.
Oh
And it's
God.
on the Twister mat. Like,
It is a set of breasts with tornadoes for nipples.
That
Whirly
sounds
birds.
terrible. Yeah, that sounds
Sleep tight,
kind of.
sleep tight, kiddies.
Yeah, right. Kind of terrifying.
I mean, it's been a pretty good couple months. It's turned into a pretty good year for Madonna. So why not go here?
I mean, you right. Hmm. All right, we got a little bit of movie news here that we're gonna head on real quick, like.
Real
And
fast.
yeah, you're gonna do some real fast, real takes. So M
We're
Night.
so many episodes in, and the,
Yeah.
and the jokes don't ever end.
So M Night Shyamalan's Trap will be available for digital rental soon. So it says Trap only hit theaters in early August, but by the end of that very same month, it will be available to watch at home. Though that's not to say the psychological thriller was a flop. In fact, it generated over twice its $30 million budget. The movie's quick home release is merely part of how release strategies are done these days, much to the chagrin of some. So it's going to be available for rent and purchase digitally on August the 29th per Prime Video. So that's
Thursday.
2 days from now. Yeah, right.
So to clarify, this is that movie where they lock down that place because a murderer's in there, and
Concert.
Hartnett is the murderer. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
Might be
yeah.
his
He takes her
daughter.
like a. Yeah, I think we mentioned that in the trailer. We were like, "What's the twist here?" You know, like,
yeah.
or
So,
maybe he's like a, or maybe he kills to give to her, or like like he's the one that catches a victim to give to the daughter,
yeah. So it says
which is fucked up.
while the movie was met with mixed reviews from critics, praise was heaped on Hartnett for his committed performance, according to the critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes. And the credits for the effectiveness of Shyamalan's newest is also due to Ariel Donoghue as Hartnett's on-screen daughter. Trap is worth getting caught up in, and viewers will soon have the chance to do so from the comfort of their couches. So I mean, I feel like we need to tag this on to what we got coming up, right?
For sure.
Like we just
I'm
slotted in
I'm
line.
I'm down. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I was interested in it whenever we watched the trailer, and I want to say, didn't we all have like a podlock agreement on it?
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely, right? So
I mean, it's been many moons, but
yeah.
I definitely would. I definitely want to check it out when you are ready to.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Todd Phillips is no longer directing Chris Hemsworth Hulk Hogan biopic. So despite directing the beloved Hangover comedy trilogy and reinventing DC Comics' most beloved villain in Joker, even director Todd Phillips occasionally has trouble getting projects off the ground in Hollywood. Phillips' Hulk Hogan biopic starring Hemsworth as the iconic wrestler was first announced in 2020 and was being produced by Netflix. Following the announcement, the hype was at an all time high as Hemsworth kept fans updated on his workouts to portray the gigantic wrestling superstar. The project saw numerous delays due to the COVID pandemic and the joint WGA SAG AFTRA strikes, but fans held out hope for the movie. However, in an interview with Variety to promote the upcoming Joker movie, Todd Phillips confirmed that his Hulk Hogan film is officially down for the count. In June of this year, Hemsworth said that the project was still going ahead, although there would be a long wait before audiences see it. But Phillips is tapping out of the movie. The director said, "I love what we were trying to do, but that's not going to come together for me." It is currently uncertain whether the untitled Hulk Hogan biopic will continue without Phillips. According to screenwriter John Polano, it appears as though the script has been completed, so there's a chance that Netflix may look for another director to take over from Phillips. Meanwhile, Phillips is hard at work promoting the new Joker movie, which sees the director reunite with Joaquin Phoenix to tell the next and potentially final chapter in Arthur Fleck's story. While Todd Phillips' Hulk Hogan movie may be stepping out of the ring, there is another upcoming movie based on a pivotal moment from the wrestler's life. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are reteaming to produce a new movie about Hulk Hogan's famous legal case against Gawker. Following the release of a sex tape in 2012, Hogan sued Gawker, earning $31 million in compensation from the now bankrupt site. Killing Gawker was written by Charles Randolph, who did The Big Short, and was adapted from Ryan Holiday's nonfiction book Conspiracy, Peter Thiel, Hulk Hogan, Gawker, and the Anatomy of Intrigue. What a fucking title for a book.
Right.
Gus Van Sant, who directed Affleck and Damon in Good Will Hunting, is in talks to direct. Conspiracy, Peter Thiel, Hulk Hogan, Gawker, and the Anatomy of Intrigue.
I have to shorten that a little bit.
Yeah.
It's called
Just toting a Hogan.
please.
Yeah.
That's the
Hogan,
name.
dude.
That's the name.
Um,
Tote
the
Hogan, a scandal. You know?
The Hulk Hogan biopics weren't the only upcoming sports movies that involved professional wrestling. Moving from a professional wrestler being the lead character to a pro wrestler playing the lead character, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is currently shooting a biopic based on MMA legend Mark Kerr, produced by A24 and directed by Benny Safdie. The Smashing Machine explores the untold story of Kerr's addiction and complicated love life during the peak of his career in the UFC. Not the usual buildings go boom roll for The Rock. The Smashing Machine is the actor's first step towards making films, quote, films that matter. I like how like he's been in all these movies and he's finally just now been like The Rock's like, I'm gonna make films that matter.
He's doing an A24 movie.
Yeah, it's
You
like,
know?
okay.
Well,
yeah.
it shows you. Well, it almost shows you though that even actors know the difference between a movie and a real movie, like a movie and a real movie.
He heard
Right.
Batista
he's
was
not
doing it. Now he's like, I'm gonna do it too.
But I mean, when actors make those statements though, they're not wrong. Not really. I mean, as much fun as we enjoy some of the action stars, like carrying the fucking machine gun, gunning down shit with
Scorpion
seemingly
King.
infinite. Let's sweep that under the rug, shall we? I think there's a can of hot shot in the closet. Let me go get it.
Yeah.
But they're not wrong at all with it. And those movies are fun, and seeing those actors in those outrageous ones are good. It's always when you see these people in roles that are just drastically different, and some of them, while some of the films themselves may not have been like my go-to for them, there's been performances that I've seen through doing the pod with everybody that I've been like, okay, like it's made me give more credit to certain to different actors than than I would have originally.
Batista.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if he can get more than like 2 seconds of screen time, like Blade Runner 2049, he just literally puts his glasses on and off and just speaks in short sentences, and then like that's the performance of the movie.
Well, I'm talking about the End of the World movie.
The cabin
Oh,
at the end of the world.
that you're
Batista.
you're absolutely Batista. But you're absolutely right though, man. Like and like seeing someone's range is definitely, it's always fun to witness that,
Yeah. But if Todd Phillips is stepping away, which there may be more to this story that we don't know about as far as Phillips stepping away, but
We
I
live
think
in
that,
a weird world, and I think everybody can connect those dots.
well, I think Netflix with Hemsworth attached to play Hulk Hogan, it's almost like printing money for them in a way because it's like Hemsworth is to that point in his career now where he's going to draw people. The wrestling fans are rabid fans. They're going to flock to it. It could be a situation where Todd Phillips was offered something more, maybe even by James Gunn himself, with, you know, him working with the Joker and stuff like that, where it really didn't fit. Like, it's more important to Phillips to work on something else other than this Hulk Hogan movie. And I think Netflix would be, because I know that they've started to trim back the stuff that they've been producing because of the amount of money that they've been spending, but it would be almost a shot in the foot for them to let this get away. If the script's written, if Hemsworth's on board, all they got to do is get the people together to shoot it, and they would kind of be dumb to not do that, honestly.
And
So
I agree. And I mean, you're right. And for me, I think that there's more to it, and and I hate it because we're not here to talk about politics, obviously, but I feel like when we look at the current political climate for 2024 and we see the things that Hulk Hogan's done publicly and all of that, with endorsing Donald Trump and all of that, I feel like with Hollywood being, it's still a realm for free art and free expression, but to assume that there's not people to assume that certain statements aren't going to be toxic or much less, create a negative standing or grounding for an actor or a director, that you can't rule that out, sadly. And, it could very much not be the case at all. That could not really
but
matter
this
whatsoever.
movie was announced a long time ago.
Yeah.
And there's been nothing going on even before that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a month or so ago.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that if people would have been
I see
really
what you're saying, though.
outraged, yeah, and I think that if people would have been really outraged by Hulk endorsing Trump and all that, they would have called to have these Hulk properties shut down, and nobody really. They were just like, "Well, that's a typical Hulk thing to do, almost." You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, because I mean, let's face it. Like him endorsing Trump is the least of the controversial things he has done.
yeah,
Because I mean, I remember during the 2010s or the 2000 and 2010s, around the time where he had his reality show with his family and whatnot. He was dropping slurs and got called for that, and that caused a complete shitstorm for his career. At the time, I believe WWE scrubbed him from the Hall of Fame. They tried to completely remove, like, pretty much the person that kind of kept wrestling relevant for a short period, if not a very long period. There's people right now I know that would be like, if Hulk was going to come on any of the Monday Night Wrestling events and they hadn't watched wrestling in 20, 25 years, they'd probably cut that episode on just for a chance to see Hulk Hogan again.
yeah,
Also, I think that the director would have wanted to get some brownie points by saying that's why he's not doing it.
yeah,
And he didn't say that. Because you know how they are.
Yeah, and I think that and I mean, we are talking about the guy who did direct Joker, and that movie had its own firestorm of controversy when it came out, and what it could mean for general audiences. There was a whole, almost like a satanic panic level of love and disdain for that movie when it came out, because the undisputed fact was that it was a good movie, but it left that debate with audiences because it's like, the whole justification of Joker's motives and how that story played out, and the attempt at generalizing a character like Arthur Fleck and using that as a way to label a larger group of individuals in the world. So there's very much, it's less, I feel like that's probably the reason, but I just feel like it's something that it can be considered. I would.
It is weird that they have done a pivot. Like, we were going to do a biopic, now we're going to do one on the scandal.
yeah.
And it's like, huh?
I mean, I hate to drive my own sense of trying to find some sort of connection in everything, but it's hard to not assume that. But given that we're dealing with a director that has almost a no fucks given, fuck you, I'm gonna make the movie I want to make, and a character or a personality that's like, fuck you, I'm gonna say what I want to say, and it's really, it probably is just a good old fashioned case of, like you said, Griff. It's probably, or both of you, y'all both said it in your own ways. Like, Todd was probably offered or either promised on something that he was going to attain through making the film, or maybe there was a financial thing that he thought he was going to be able to reap from, and that's why it couldn't happen. But I feel like there's just, we won't ever really know until more time passes, I think, and the further that we're distanced from all the different things coming out this year and all the different opinions about trying to, like I said, trying to get away from the political nature of what I brought into here. But, like, once all that kind of stuff is further in our rearview mirror, I think more stuff will come out as to decisions that got made behind the scenes of not just this film, but probably several others that we don't know about, you know?
Right. So yeah, we'll be on the lookout for some updates here on the Hulk movie. But until then, we at least have the conspiracy, Peter Thiel, Hulk Hogan, Gawker, and the Anatomy of Intrigue to look forward to. So
With a soundtrack done by the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza.
yeah, right. So we
If
are
only,
getting a.
though.
Either way, we're getting a Hulk biopic. It might just not be the one that we were expecting to get originally. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So next up here, Josh Gad is now writing Spaceballs 2, reveals Mel Brooks' reaction to his script.
Oh, man.
Frozen,
This can either be really good or really funny.
yeah. Frozen and Beauty and the Beast star Josh Gad has confirmed that he is still currently working on a sequel to the beloved Mel Brooks comedy Spaceballs. Not only did Gad quietly confirm the exciting news during a recent appearance at Fan Expo Canada in Toronto, but he also revealed what Brooks himself said to him about Spaceballs 2 script. Quote, Josh, you've got your finger on the pulse.
That's about as Mel Brooks as I think it could
Yeah.
get.
Gad is now working on Spaceballs 2 alongside Amazon MGM Studios with original writer and director and comedy icon Mel Brooks producing the project. While details of what the Spaceballs sequel will involve remain under wraps at present, including whether any of the original cast will return or if Gad himself will play a role, Gad has previously described his involvement in the project as a dream come true. Taking to Instagram back in June, he said, early days still, but working with the legendary Mel freaking Brooks to make something worthy of this franchise and his legacy has been a dream come true. Benji Samit, Dan Hernandez, Josh Greenbaum, Kevin Salter, and I worship at the altar of all things Brooks, and we are doing everything in our power alongside Mel to make sure you get what you've waited 37 long years for. Everything. And then we know what it says. Josh Greenbaum's best known for his work on various sitcoms, including New Girl and Fresh Off the Boat, as well as feature endeavors such as Will and Harper, Barb, and Stargo to Vista Del Mar, and Strays. Is all set to direct the comedy sequel. The script is currently being penned by Gad alongside writers Benji Samit and Dan Hernandez, who are best known for the likes of TMNT Mutant Mayhem, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Addams Family 2, and the Disney Plus and Lucasfilm special Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy.
It's a mixed bag of properties that they have in it. Some were real good hits and some were really good misses, I think. So I think it's about 50-50, which is what I assume a 37-year-old sequel would probably have in terms of odds, you know?
Right. Is Pullman still alive?
Bill?
Yeah.
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 Okay. I mean, I know that
He actually,
know.
I think the last thing I remember him being in was a show called Scandal where he played the president.
Did he play the president?
Yeah.
I think that was another guy.
No, I'm questioning it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a different dude. It kind of looks like him.
And we're talking about Independence Day Bill Pullman, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what guy you're talking about because I had to look him up a few days ago.
I think it's that guy who was like, wasn't he like the main villain for The Sixth Day? I know it's a weird poll, but he's the scientist that's cloning everyone.
Well, it would be nice if they would at least bring him back and maybe Moranis.
I mean,
Dude, if they could bring Moranis back for just a brief moment.
but
I
they
know the
haven't
guy
been able to get him to do any.
The guy he left
comebacks.
for a noble.
Those
and
fucking
admirable
kids are
cause.
grown.
But
Yeah.
yes, 100%, dude. Get back in the game. We miss you, Moranis. You know?
He's
Dude,
like,
I
"I'm
could
count my money."
put on Spaceballs right now and laugh like it was the first time I've watched it. He is so funny in that movie, and I'm hoping that the sequel lives up because
I don't
hold
think
that.
it will, but it won't hurt it.
No,
I
It's
think
kind of
it'll
like when
be-
they did that remake for what was the other fuck. They did it here a while back. It was I gotta look it up. History of the World Part 2.
Oh, yeah,
They did
yeah.
on Hulu. It was
Yeah.
okay. It was kind of like a TV show.
yeah,
It was all right, but
it wasn't. Yeah,
not many
That
berries to
motherfucker
pick from
is
the bush.
98 years old.
oh yeah,
I hope he makes it to 100.
Me too. Me too.
Protect him at all costs.
But yeah, I mean, Gad's not bad.
No,
I mean,
I don't necessarily have anything against, like, as far as like tastes and actors and stuff like that. I don't necessarily. I wouldn't consider myself a full blown fan, but like I haven't seen that role he's done yet that made me go, all right, not bad, Gad. You know.
yeah.
well, wasn't his big thing the South Park guys, the thing they made? Didn't he do that? The Mormon thing?
Oh, the Book of Mormon.
I'm pretty sure that's
It's-
like his big. I mean, he's been in a bunch of shit.
But
Yeah.
that's what he.
I
That,
think
that's
he
what,
did
that-
the Book of Mormon, I believe.
What TV show was he a part of? Because I
A
remember he was on
bunch.
prime time at one point.
I mean, he's been on a bunch of shows.
I don't
Yeah.
know why I keep gravitating to Modern Family.
And he wrote on some TV shows. He's got like 7 writing credits.
Didn't he used to do like I mean, yeah, that's a
Central
lot, but,
Park.
didn't he help like Parks and Rec or some shit like that? Wasn't he in one of those writer rooms or something?
They don't say he was.
It was in 2 episodes of Modern Family.
Oh, I vaguely remember because my wife finished watching.
He played the
whole
doctor
show
on
about a year ago.
Californication.
Really?
2 episodes.
I mean, I guess I was just too like
It was
blown away at the fact.
2011, so
I was still blown away
nobody
by
knew
the
who he
fact that
was.
I'm like David Duchovny is still fucking okay, whatever.
I mean, he's Mulder.
I mean,
Of
that's
course he's
literally
still
all.
fucking-
That's all Californication was as a show. Was it's just fucking like Duchovny like getting it.
But he can't ruin it.
No.
The original still stands.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
So,
Like yeah, it's got a gold seal around it, like a coveted baseball card, you know.
yeah. So Tarantino responds to rumors surrounding his canceled final film. So Tarantino's supposedly canceled final film, The Movie Critic, has sparked endless speculation from fans and the media about what would have happened in the movie. The 10th final project in Tarantino's long-planned filmography was confirmed to be canceled earlier this year, though this may not even be true. It was officially revealed that The Movie Critic would focus on a critic working for a fictional porn magazine in the 1970s. However, the internet took the movie's core concept and, according to the director, began to spin wild takes. Nope. Begin to spin wild tales about casting and the movie's meta levels of storytelling. During a recent appearance on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast, Tarantino addressed the rumors surrounding the Movie Critic. The director blamed media outlets for popularizing rumors about the movie's cancellation and content. Because the director has kept the project shrouded in mystery, he believes that one outlet will confirm a rumor about the project and the rest of the internet will run with the story. Most interestingly, Tarantino neither confirmed nor denied whether the Movie Critic has officially been shelved. This is what he said. I'm not going to do the voice because he said a lot here. If you're Joe Shlomoka and you're some sort of transient celebrity reporter of some kind, if you hear Quentin is going to make a Star Trek movie, or Quentin is going to do a movie called The Movie Critic, or Quentin is going to do any fucking thing, it's a little bit like when the guy wrote that Howard Hughes biography that ended up being a hoax. The thing is, they can say anything. Oh, Quentin is going to cast Tom Cruise. It's for sure. Quentin is going to cast Tom Cruise as the movie critic. The thing that's kind of funny about the movie critic was that they started saying I was going to cast that actor Paul Walter Hauser. But what's funny about it is I think they just think he looks like a critic. So that's why they picked him. But my point being, though, is they write it in, Showbiz Daily or something, and then that gets picked up in 140 other places. While Quentin also criticizes the snowball effect of modern journalism, he also refuses to dispute or correct the rumors circulating about the movie critic. Even MovieWeb's own archives are brimming with the speculation surrounding the project, and if you're interested in finding out what we think we know, we have previously compiled everything about the mysterious movie. The director said he could easily come out and correct all the misinformation and rumors and reveal what is actually happening with the movie, but he refuses to. Tarantino explained, because
Well,
I'm not shutting that down, because I'm not all connected. Then that's just reported as if it's true, and it is true for a couple of weeks because no one knows anything better. Because I'm not filling them in.
That's the way he
well,
said it. I
I
heard
think
him.
he got really. I mean, this just seems to stem from the fact that he got really fucking pissed when his script got leaked, and I think this is just him playing it. I get it. I get it. Like if he's really gonna do one more film and then he's done making like films, not necessarily Hollywood in general, but just done with movie making, then I get it. If he's like, no, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out the way I want to, and you'll know when I'm fucking ready for you to know.
Right.
And the guy, I mean, there's obviously tons of directors that are in that position, but if there's one that deserves to be there, definitely Quentin Tarantino. He's earned it. I mean, he may have a small filmography in comparison to other directors, but every fucking movie's gold.
Yeah.
And if it's not gold the first time you watch it, when you get a little older, it becomes gold because you pick up something you did in the first time.
Yeah.
The same podcast
Like-
is where they talked about the blanks.
Oh yeah.
One of y'all put that in the text
Yeah.
thing the other day. Yeah, it was because Bill Maher was like, why do you have to do all that with the guns and the bullets? And he's like, because it fucking looks cool, okay? I mean, you with the fucking flash, like I don't want to fucking use CGI for that, you know? It's like, no, you will fucking
Which
do
is
it with I
hilarious.
want to smell the gunpowder, you know? Like,
Which is hilarious. Well, I mean, it's funny because if you remember, let's rewind over 20 years ago and look at Robert Rodriguez doing Once Upon a Time in Mexico. That whole film, all the gunplay was completely CGI.
Yeah.
and he said it's
Like,
a
there's
pain
blo-
in the ass to have to go in there and add that in. Like,
There's bloopers of one of the funniest bloopers I've ever seen in a movie that's trying to take of actors trying to take themselves serious. It was a shot where Antonio Banderas is walking backwards up the aisle of a church and he's got a gun brandished and he's shooting at the bad guys.
is he making the
Mhm.
sound?
Well, yeah, yeah, he's going pow 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 pow. And like, just to keep, I guess, to keep meter with Foley or whatever, or maybe that's just the way he gets into it.
Yeah.
But that little clip was just so fucking funny.
Says here, while Tarantino's comments suggest a feeling of frustration towards the endless circulation of speculation surrounding the movie critic, the director revealed that secretly there is part of him that enjoys watching the endless rumors appear. As well as promoting the movie at no cost to the director or studio, Tarantino joked that the level of media attention is a great way to fuel the ego of a Hollywood star. This is what he said. It's not a bad thing. Actually, the egomaniac in me thinks that the idea that 142 articles can be printed about just speculation of what I'm going to do, I appreciate that a lot. And that means I'm in a good place. The egomaniac Elvis guy part of me goes, yeah, right on. He's such a character in and of himself, dude. So I mean, there you have it. We might get the movie critic after all. And I mean, at this point, I just want him to release something, you know? But
What's been really nice though with Tarantino's contributions in his movie making to films is seeing how it's seeing it's so far along in pop culture now that you can see things that reference his stuff now, and it
yeah.
could be completely in an entirely different medium, and you can pick up those beats, kind of the way Sam Raimi is honored in some of his camera styles that you'll see, in certain films that when you see it, you're like, someone watched Evil Dead.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he comes out with. But yeah, he's hilarious. You know, just his whole thing. So you listen to the whole Bill Maher?
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half, something like that.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm sure he talked the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Like,
He's talking about all these old movies, and Bill Maher's like, I'm not gonna see it, like he's just, and he's like, how does it end? And he's like, I'm not gonna fucking tell you. There might be somebody out there that like wants to fucking watch it, like fucking ruin it. It's a good movie, okay? Like,
no spoilers from these fucking lips, man.
when he said the fucking Elvis in me, he's like, fuck yeah.
He's like, Bill, what the fuck do you think I'm trying to do here, man? I'm just trying to take you. I can lead a horse to fucking water, but you gotta be the one that wants to drink from it, man. You gotta fucking be thirsty. You gotta have that drive, that energy, that stamina, that willpower.
Bill was like, you're not gonna be finished.
Yeah,
he's like, you'll probably want to make a movie for your son one day for him to see, because he's like, ain't nothing you have right now.
Yeah.
He's got a 4-year-old.
Yeah. And Tarantino's like, fuck him.
He's like, I fucking watched Despicable Me 4 with him the other day, or 3.
He's like, fuck you. I'm raising him on Sergio Leone westerns, and I'm combing his fucking hair with a cactus, dude.
He said it was the first time the kid's been able to sit through a whole movie.
Wow.
And not fidget, or he was like, when he got to the third act, I was proud of him. I was like, fuck yeah, man, you just a little bit longer, like,
yeah,
it's almost over.
Hell yeah.
He's like, quit fucking around, Dad. Bring me my fucking popcorn.
So we got some Ezra Miller news here.
Oh.
Ezra.
He was on a podcast.
Oh, really?
He was on Pauly Shore's podcast.
Wow.
He's got a band.
Of course he does, right?
Yeah.
Well,
it checks out.
And
it's exactly what you think it would sound like.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Shit. No.
Yeah. So fans rally around The Flash as Ezra Miller grooming accusations drop. So over 2 years since Ezra Miller was accused of grooming a teenager, one of several disturbing incidents surrounding the actor, the complaint against them has been dropped by Chase Iron Eyes.
What?
Yeah, that's what it's Chase Iron Eyes. In an unexpected turn of events, the father of Takata, who was said to be the victim in the allegations, has spoken out after withdrawing his complaint. In light of this, social media has become a battleground once again as fans debate if the box office bomb fate of Miller's The Flash was justified or not. We'll get into that in a minute. Controversies surrounding Miller in 2022 were seen by many as one of the reasons the release of The Flash in 2023 became a financial disappointment. Along with accusations of burglary and assault, Miller was accused by Chase Iron Eyes of having an inappropriate relationship with his daughter, something that both Miller and Takata denied. In a lengthy Instagram post, Chase explained how the complaint he originally filed in court had been influenced by a story told to him by someone else, someone who has now gone back on their original statement. The clarification from Chase comes 2 days after he shared a post in support of the musical group 100 in the Hand, a trio made up of Miller, Takata and Jay Walsley.
Oh,
After being asked by many people why he was supporting Miller in this way, Chase shared his new post to clarify the situation. You can read the post. So it says here, there's a reason I support 100 in the palm or whatever, 100 in the hand. I don't feel like I owe an explanation, but after we hosted a party in Santa Fe, we received some feedback. When you live your life under a public tribal and non-tribal microscope of critique, sometimes it seems it's only the critique that makes its way through. I want to offer this on the drama 3 years ago when I filed a petition and claimed that Ezra appeared to have groomed Takata. I made that statement in my pleading in the time of absolute war based on information from a witness who then recanted and said nothing happened and that they could infer anything inappropriate from. Thus, I immediately withdrew the court filings. Now we are doing our level best to move on, to reconcile to heal while remaining supportive as a father, as long as Takata's good were good. These are real people living real lives, and once you're in that fire where there is no anonymity, there is no safe place for you to retreat. That's the strange place, and it's not enviable. It takes a lot to enter the fray again. Okay.
something very interesting there. And I went to his Instagram. That's a photo of him. He's a American activist / attorney,
Mm-hmm.
Native American. Chase Iron
Right.
Eyes there. So I go to his Instagram and I can, there's that post you just read. You can go back a little bit more when they had to get together. And you can see they're doing a little concert, some photos. There's Ezra holding a little Frenchie dog. You scan through all these photos, then you get to the very end. And it's this photo of Mr. Iron Eyes wearing some very expensive jewelry.
Oh my God.
Some diamond out bling there.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Huh. He's like, I just
100
want
in
to
the
take my
hand.
statement back, like
100 in the hand, dude.
yeah.
So, I mean, with these allegations, I mean, we don't know what happened. Was this the same situation where he like kidnapped somebody and went across state lines?
Well, that chick is in the band with him.
Right.
And she's
So-
20 now. And
Yeah.
I guess their relationship's been going on for some time,
Yeah.
And
that was 2 years ago, so she would have been 18,
Well, and it
17.
probably predates that by a little bit,
Yeah,
That's just when
true,
he said something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But as far as like the controversy surrounding the film, The Flash, like sure, it didn't help it at all, right? But we went into the movie as like, unbiased, right?
oh yeah.
I mean, we separated the art from the artist. We went because I don't even think we we might have hit on it a little bit whenever we talked about the Flash movie about, the allegations and all the stuff that he had been getting into and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I'm sure that it hurt it not critically, but commercially. But I mean,
But
there was a lot of other factors going into that.
Unless
he kidnapped someone.
Yeah.
Unless, and even as someone who, even like, because out of the three of us, I mean, well, I think Adam said he didn't mind it either, but I know you did not like the Flash, Griff. And
well, see, I don't know anything about the Flash at all, so
I'm on the other end of that argument where I enjoyed the film for what it was. Unless it was so damaging that it caused the rush in editing stuff hitting the storyboard floor, choices getting made, reshoots, and all that.
Well, they definitely changed the outcome
If there, were,
because they were
if
going to be done with him.
if this stuff caused that level of damage, and that there's actually a good film that was butchered, like so many other DC films were treated that were even remotely tagged to the Snyderverse, then I would like to see that cut of the movie. We probably
Right.
won't, because
They went
that's
in and took out Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
The end
And-
was supposed to be different.
and if that's the case, but even as much as I enjoyed The Flash as a film, I also acknowledge the movie's flaws too. And
Yeah.
I don't know if this really, if what we saw was the absolute final cut, with or without those edits or omissions of other characters, I don't think any of this would have saved it. Regardless, it would have still came out. It would have still got the money it would have made, and I don't think we would still be anywhere in the idea of seeing a Flash sequel or any other of the DCEU tied actors having
Yeah.
another outing.
Well, I think what hurt the Flash more so, at least in my opinion, what hurt it more than all of these allegations with Ezra Miller's personal life and all that stuff going on was the state that the DCEU was in at that time, and the giant question marks surrounding everything. Because it's like Snyder Cut gets dropped. We don't know if Snyder's coming back. We don't know if the Flash is going to reset the universe. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. And I think
Right.
that in and of itself, the not knowing, right?
The whole Superman thing too.
Yeah.
Because they were like, Superman's coming back. He's going to be in the Flash.
And
Nope.
it was something. It was a criticism that I remember hearing Griffin. Like when he said, I was like, it makes sense, and it's true. And it's that The Flash is a fun and good DC film, but it wasn't at the end of the day a Flash film. Now, at the end of the day, we know that this movie was one of several films that was telling an overarching story, and it suffered from stepping stone syndrome, where the movie by itself, sorry, technical diff, but where it didn't get it wasn't gonna. It's one of them films that its goal was not to accomplish anything, but to world build, provide more perspective, because like the things that I enjoyed about the film were a lot of things that did in fact tie into the other larger story going on. And that sucks because even though supposedly Eobard Thawne, Reverse Flash, whatever, was back pocketed, now because we know he was going to play an even larger role up there with Darkseid's involvement in the DC storyline and whatnot. The fact that with the first time a lot of general audiences are going to be introduced to the Flash in a big budget sense, his movie very much should have stayed very intimate, very just him and the world building of what the Flash's world's going on while we are watching Batman, while we are watching Superman, and etc.
Yeah.
And it did absolutely fail at that, because that was one of the biggest plot holes of the movie, is that, okay, if Barry's father is innocent, then who fucking killed his mom?
Yeah.
And we know who and the whys and everything, but they made no point to ever explore that avenue throughout the film. And that's where it fails as a Flash movie.
Yeah.
But they had it so packed with the overlapping of other characters, introducing the multiverse thing, even the member Barry level ending, and it's a good film, but it is absolutely a DC film and not necessarily a good Flash movie.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, it's like Aquaman 2, right? It's like Aquaman 2 kind of came and went, nothing good, nothing bad. Like it was released in limbo. Same thing with The Flash. And unfortunately, The Flash had more buzz around it because Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman and Ezra Miller's kidnapping people. And like, there's a
Mhm.
lot of stuff that was going on around The Flash at the time that kind of caused it to get a little bit more um, media than Aquaman did. But it released in a weird time where nobody really knew. And with DC kind of trying to build itself into this shared storytelling experience, it failed because of those things. I don't think it had anything realistically to do with his personal life stuff.
Nah,
I'm sure
nobody
it had
cares.
As
yeah,
awful as that is, you know.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
I
But
mean, he's playing a character, a ridiculous character, in a film where the idea is we're all here, kind of shed away the realities for a little bit. We're talking about a character that's breaking the sound barrier with his farts, for crying out loud. You know what I mean?
yeah. But and
And just being able to, just kind of adding to what you're saying, Griffin, being able to separate the art from the artist. And that's hard to do, but I think it's very objective. Like it really depends on what it
Well, like the
is.
three of us, we were all
yeah,
like, "Fuck that guy." Watch the movie, but
yeah.
fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
and if we're going to compare it, kind of apples to apples here, there was another very large comic book actor that was going through something, maybe not to that extent crazy, but was in
Talking
an
about
entire
Kang,
season. Yes, was in an
yeah.
entire season
Oh,
of a
they
show
handled
while
that
all that.
differently, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's like, people still watched it. People think that Loki is the greatest thing that Marvel has done since like the original Iron Man like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I say outside of the Infinity Saga, it's absolutely some of the strongest storytelling that Marvel put out since then.
Exactly, and people watched it, and the personal things that Jonathan Majors had going on in his life didn't stop people from watching it, and definitely didn't stop people from ranking it very high, especially the dirt bags on Rotten Tomatoes. So, no, his personal life didn't affect the outcome of that movie bombing. I'm sorry to ruin anybody's day here, but like that's the truth.
I mean,
So,
and I agree. As a fan, that's the reality of it. I don't, there's too much. There's too much of what we don't know
yeah.
as far as in the editing of the film to even to even really know if like there was a cut of the movie that could have enhanced it in even the smallest of ways.
Yeah.
And that's sadly stuff we'll never know. Like that stuff will never see the light of day.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm ready for some trailers here, man.
Yeah, let me get converted. Sorry, guys.
And like with the Aquaman, all that, it was like a lot of people were like, "What's the point? I just wait for this to come out." Like they know this road's going nowhere.
Yeah. Blue Beetle, same thing.
This road's going nowhere. There,
Yeah.
we're gonna get this kind of like reboot. We're gonna get the new.
Yeah.
So it's like I still haven't watched that Aquaman movie. I don't
I haven't
think
either. I
It's
think
not
that's
my
wild for me.
it's not terrible, but um
Blue
it's
Beetle's
not
been getting high ratings lately. For some
Blue
reason,
Beetle
it's getting
it was fun.
bombarded with.
It wasn't the best movie on earth, but it wasn't by any means a terrible movie.
yeah, I
Turner.
haven't watched yeah, I
What?
haven't watched Blue Beetle or
I haven't seen
Aquaman,
it.
so we'll have to do those sometime.
Um, I mean, kind of like how like what we discussed when we saw the trailer for Blue Beetle. It was very much like DC Spider Man. Um, I didn't necessarily Blue Beetle was a character I wasn't really much of into the comics or whatever. But if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Blue Beetle eventually team up with Booster Gold?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they end up teaming up.
which wasn't Booster Gold. It was just rumored that Nathan Fillion was going to play him, but it was never confirmed right before he got cast as Guy Gardner.
They did confirm that they cast.
Or was it more of a thing where he was like, "Hey, Hollywood, the fans want me to play Booster Gold. I'm down."
Let's see. Nanjani.
Oh, that's who's cast as him right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joins the DC universe as Booster Gold, which I think is the perfect casting for Booster Gold, honestly. Because that arrogant personality.
He's got it.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect casting. So yeah. But yeah. Let's peep these coming soons. Dude, that we need that audio. Remember from the VHS
Coming soon
whenever
to
you-
TriStar.
Yeah, coming soon. Yeah. We need that as our little intro to trailers, man.
It'll happen.
Hell yeah.
I'll use Jim for now. All right.
Do we?
The reason I picked this, that's a Little Mermaid, by the way. It's got the dude from Outer Range in it,
Okay.
the son.
Oh, it's got Malkovich?
I like this actor.
Yeah.
It's like a serious Animal House.
Is that the kid from Hereditary?
It looks like him.
Yeah.
Got a little Saltburn vibe going on here. Mm-hmm. That's Bill Pullman's son.
Yeah. Angus Cloud, too. Heard a lot about him. I think he died, right?
Was he the one that was on that HBO show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he passed.
Yeah. OD.
Euphoria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. I gotta add.
BMW.
Lewis Pullman is going to be in Salem's Lot in the new
Oh,
Salem's
shit.
Lot movie. Yeah,
He's
so
proven himself to be a pretty good actor, man.
yeah.
Like, he's really good on Outer Range.
Oh yeah. God, I can't wait for that next
Oh.
season of that shit. Yeah, dude. I cannot wait.
Great show.
Yeah. All right, what
And
do we have here?
the other son
Oh yeah.
looks like he's related to, I mean,
Brolin?
yeah.
They look, yeah. It's wild. Good
The
cast.
show seems so under the radar because Brolin's performance in that show is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Well, pretty soon we'll get Severance season 2.
Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
This dude's creepy.
Yeah, what the fuck? Mhm.
God damn.
Mhm.
These guys are kind of going silly goose with it. Like, mm-mm. Hell no. Stay the fuck out of the crawl space.
All right, we got another possession movie. Hell yeah. Is that Sam Jackson?
It is. Little
Okay.
mustache.
Yeah, I like that little stash he's got going on here.
I'm tired of these motherfucking ghosts and these motherfucking seances.
In a minute, during the trailer, he says something and hits the table. And then they loop it, make it a part of the music, the build up.
Yeah.
It's kind of trippy.
Okay.
It's the guy from Creator. Tenant.
Yeah.
Is the piano possessed?
I think so.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You won't know who you are if you're not ever really you.
I don't
It's
think
based
it's
on
a
a book.
possession. There might be some
Ray
supernatural stuff
Fisher?
to it, but I don't think that it's a supernatural thing.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Don't look bad though.
Well, we got the Christopher Reeves doc.
Ooh, ooh la la.
I think this is going to be. I always love these kind of movies, man. And it just kind of adds more that it's, it is about who it is.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be sad. Oh wow.
That's my Superman.
Mhm.
Damn.
Wow. His kid could be Superman. Mm.
Mm.
Damn.
That's gonna be good. It's gonna be very touching, very poignant, and
Yeah.
it's gonna
I
be
had to
interesting
double
seeing
down
that
with it
little.
though with the Robin Williams. Like,
Yeah.
Uh,
Ad. Motorcycle.
yeah,
We're
Indian.
upgrading from the BMW.
It did.
Oh
This
man.
trailer came out of nowhere.
Yeah, right. I haven't seen this yet. Oh yeah.
You know, they just announced like recently. I guess because the trailer was going to drop, so they're like Keanu Reeves is.
The Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at that bodacious babe. He doesn't say that.
I wish,
Yeah.
though. I wish. In the trailer, you're just like, whoa, look at that bodacious babe. Oh, God.
He was tortured like Homelander.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Uh-oh. Mm.
Looks epic.
I mean, the fastest trilogy that's ever been released. Am I right?
Okay.
Got a Trump ad.
Oh. All
Very
right.
good.
Well, yeah.
Kung Fu games.
Kung Fu game.
Why did
Tiger
it stop?
Style.
Oh.
Okay.
Kill Bill. That dude's hair is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Somebody watch Squid Game.
I mean, it don't look bad. Bad. LTX Studio. All right.
I saw an article recently where they were talking about this. So apparently, he used AI to generate these fake reviews at the
Yeah.
beginning that it shows. So I think they're all fake
Okay.
or AI generated.
Yeah. Why is it Morpheus the trailer guy more often? I still don't know what the fuck is going on. You know, like
Yeah.
I got an ad for the new Razor.
Legend has it he's still in his trailer getting stoned.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it. All right. What do we have here?
#1 trailer.
Uh-oh. Mhm. Moscow.
Never seen one that big.
Right.
He's gonna fight the tank. Road Warrior.
Damn.
Mm, mm. Violence, dude. He's gonna light his cigar on the thing's still hot.
What the fuck was that? Dude.
Saint Bernard, I think. Don't teach fight. Why does his voice sound like Bane?
Father had to fuck.
They cut that out, but it's like you said fuck in the song.
Yeah. Several times.
They need to learn. It's like we don't do that in trailers. Oh, well.
Fucking wow.
It's the end of the road. Are we going
This
Daddy
is the
Long Legs?
end. Yeah, dude. Let's do it.
Would you say Maxine? Then you want to tack on?
Yeah.
Go ahead and get the next 3 lined up. Long Legs, Maxine, Trapped. Or just Trap.
Yep. Trap.
Yeah.
Technical issues again.
Checks in the mail, Trav.
No,
Checks in the mail.
the flag's fucking raised.